First off, happy Halloween. My favorite holiday has finally come. And for a special Halloween video, I finally watched The Strangers Chapter 1. Um, I'll just get right into it. So, to not spoil anything and just talk about the movie, it was average. It was okay. It was pretty. It is basically pretty much almost exactly just a complete remake of the first The Strangers movie. Like almost exact same for a lot of stuff. There are some things that are different, but for the most part, the main plot is the exact same. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a good movie, if that makes sense. Um, it had moments. It had moments where it was really good. It had moments that actually like jumped me and scared me for a sec. But then it also had moments where I watched and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? So yeah, I would not recommend immediately going out and watching it. But if you're bored, if you're with your girl or something, or you're with some friends and you're just looking for just some random movie to put on, this might be an okay one. There are definitely better choices, but there are worse choices. So take it as you will. Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 21%. I would say it's a little better than that. I would give it maybe a 40 to 50%. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 4 to a 5. Again, it's not the best movie. It's not a great movie, but it's not horrible for the most part. Now, getting into spoiler territory, while I was watching this movie, I was taking notes every time I saw something noteworthy. And so it did take me out a little bit because of the way I was doing it. So I was watching it on my phone. I'd watch, see something, open the notes app, type down a note, and then go back to the movie and like reverse just a couple of seconds to get back in the scene. And then I do that. At the beginning, I had a lot of notes that I was already taking. Like, this movie is about 90 minutes long, and I think it took me like an hour and a half to finish because of how often I was going back and forth, switching notes. That's not to say that all of the notes that I took are bad, just that I took a lot of notes. I also want to say that for the first couple notes that I have here, it's going to look like what is that YouTube channel, Cinema Sins or something, where they just critique every single thing about a movie. And it's ironic because I hate that channel. I think the way they do it is just, I just think they're annoying and they just critique every little detail that's there. But I'm being a hypocrite for this movie and for this video. Starting off, the opening starts off really good. It starts off really tense, really exciting to get you in the mood. You see a guy, just a random guy, just in the woods running from someone. We know who has the audience, but it doesn't show it yet. But so he's running, and this is where I write my first note down because, of course, he does the classic horror movie trope of, oh, there's a rock, and he trips on it as he's running. So he trips on the rock and hurts his leg. He can't walk anymore, he can't run anymore, so now he's trying to crawl away. And then, of course, the main bad guy just walks up to him and then hits him with the axe. And they don't even show it. Like, the camera, like, here's a tree, and then here's them. The camera, like, if it, let me try and do this right. The camera, like, pans over. So it's like, and then he gets, so you don't even see him actually get hit with the axe You just hear it, it's implied, it's almost shown, pretty much. I thought that was really annoying. Like, you might as well just show them getting killed, unless they're just trying to, like, save on budget or something, so they don't have to actually, like, show the special effects of blood and all that. In that case, it makes sense. Also, nah, they should have just showed it. Going on to the second point, one thing I did like about the movie is it went back to the first movie of being like, this is based on a true story, even though it's not really based on a true story. It's taking pieces from other stories and just saying, yeah, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. But it was still cool. And it's a nice throwback, in a sense, to the first movie. Also, I took note here right when I started watching the movie, and it said, this is a story of one of the most violent, brutal crimes, one of the most brutal, violent crimes. And I immediately doubted that, and I was right. It is not that bad. Like, if you were looking for, like, Terrifier level of stuff, like, how do I say this on YouTube? GOREPORN? Uh, Gore prawn, if you get what you get what I mean. But if you're looking for that stuff, you're not going to find it here. It is not that bad. There there wasn't a lot of gore. There was very, very little. Like, the only gore really that I can remember is at the very end, and even then, it's not that bad. Like, a character, two characters, uh, get stabbed with a knife, and then it shows some blood, but it's not like or anything. It's nothing crazy. So if you're squeamish about blood, this movie will be okay for you. Second point that I have, after the guy in the woods gets killed, we go to the main characters, Ryan and Maya. They are the stereotype of couple goes on a vacation and then something bad happens. They're played out exactly as you would think it goes. Very soon after you see them on screen, another movie trope is played out where they're both talking while they're driving in the car, and then they go and lean over to kiss. Of course, he's not paying attention to the road, so you hear someone honk, and then he looks up and swerves out of the way and realizes they almost hit a car, and then this little pussy starts having a panic attack almost, and he's like, "Ooh, ooh." And then the girl goes and grabs an inhaler, which will be somewhat important later on when I get to that point. When they get to the cabin, of course, they're on their way there, and they go and check their phone, and they have no signal. What do you know? To be fair to that point, though, to to that movie trope, it's in a fucking forest. Like, there's not. They are in the middle. They even say they're in the middle of nowhere, and there's trees all around them. Like, I've been out in country roads. It is realistically sometimes hard to get signal. So that one I can give a pass for. Also, it is an easy way for horror movies to, like, almost have a cop out of, like, someone's invading their house. Why don't they just call the cops or someone? Well, they don't have signal. They would have called them a long time ago if they could. So that one I kind of let slip. They get kind of a pass for it. Another movie trope that they have is they get hungry while they're driving to the place they're going to, so they go and pull over into a diner. And of course, right once they walk in, everybody turns around and stares at them all weird, and it just makes no sense. Like, realistically, people don't do that. Maybe if you walk in somewhere, people will, like, just look up and see, just to see, like, who's coming in. But then they look up and see, oh, it's just some random couple. Okay. And then they go back to whatever they're doing. Like, nobody actually really, like, does that where everybody looks up and just, like, glares at them. So that's my little nitpick. One of my nitpicks. Another classic movie trope when they get out of the diner, they get in the car and try and start the car, and what do you know? It doesn't start. When they go into the diner, there's a creepy mechanic that is seen over across the street, pretty much, just watching them, like as they go into the diner. And so while they're in the car trying to get it to start, the creepy mechanic just pops up out of nowhere, up by the door. And then, of course, they have that. Another cliche. To be fair, though, they did have it in the first movie. So this one also gets a pass now that I'm thinking about it. But two random little Mormon boys, or whatever they are, come up and hand them pamphlets. And then one says, "The Lord will set you free." And the other asks, "Are you sinners?" And shit like that. Ryan is like, "We're all a little bit of sinners, right?" And then the two boys just like look at him and then just walk away without even saying anything. And it's like, I get it's a horror movie and you're trying to be creepy, but people don't actually do that stuff unless they're like weird kids. But like putting myself in the mind spec, in the mind of those little boys, like if I had to do that when I was a little kid, I would. Well, for one, I wouldn't want to be doing it. I would just bullshit around. I wouldn't be passing out pamphlets or something. But anyways, the point is, kids don't actually just like hand you pamphlets and just be like, "Are you sinners?" Like it's not realistic. Ooh, here's a funny thing I have in my notes. Since their car doesn't work anymore, they have to leave it at the mechanic. And then Shelly, one of the waitresses in the diner, is like, "Oh, there's an Airbnb that you can stay at. I'll go and take you there because I get off in a couple minutes." I have it written down that she has massive jugs. She's got big fucking honkers, dog. That is just something I had to take note of. Just appreciation. Moving on to the next point, they get to the cabin and then they're talking, they're going back and forth, and then they're about to start going at it, and then they hear a really loud knock on the door. And what do? They just stand there. Like, they're just like, "Who is that?" Like, dog, what the hell are you doing? Like, I get that it's late and you're like, who the hell would be here at this time of night? And also, it's just, it, it just caught you off guard. But it's like, go answer the fucking door because there's clearly someone there. Like, go check out who it is. Why the hell are you just standing there? Also, another thing too, because Ryan is a little bitch and needs an inhaler, that's no diss on people that need inhalers. That's a diss on Ryan being a pussy. Later on in the movie, it starts to actually like be useful as a character and actually do stuff, but it doesn't matter because he's still stupid. But anyways, he needs his inhaler, which just happened to be left in the car and it's not in his bag. So there is there just happens to be a motorcycle that's outside that he goes and drives into town. And another thing too is like, why did they both not go together into town to get his inhaler? Because the girl also wanted him. Maya also wanted him to go because she was hungry and wanted food. So, like, why not both just go? But at the same time, sometimes it's like, yeah, I don't want to go. I just want to stay here and chill. Can you please go and get something and then just come back? Not thinking anything of it. Because obviously, looking at it as their characters, like, they don't know they're in a horror movie. They're just in a cabin. I had to cut the video for a sec because my brother walked in and we started talking about Warhammer and then Destiny. He plays Destiny, I don't. But he tells me about lore and stuff. So, anyways, back to the movie. Um, I had two clips. I have multiple clips, but two clips that I forgot to show real quick. The first is this really cringy ass scene that's at the start of the movie.
You might just die of starvation.
She was on her way to interview for a top Portland architectural firm when her GPS failed.
She is, however, survived by her boyfriend Ryan.
What? No?
Yeah, sorry, babe. I had to eat your remains.
I get that they're supposed to be a couple and everything, but that shit just immediately took me out. I was like, okay, this movie's not going to be good. Just from that, just from hearing that, I immediately lost faith in the movie, and that was in with like the first couple of minutes within the movie. And the second scene I have is this one.
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
The silence.
This one is a nitpick. This is a very nitpicky scene from me or moment. But she says, "Do you hear the silence?" And it's like, dog, that's not silence. This is, actually, that's not silence. You can hear the crickets. But that's just me being a little nose picking cunt. I get what she was going for, but it's just my technically moment for the movie is it wasn't quiet. There was no silence. You can hear the crickets loud as hell. So I thought that was kind of funny. Third scene that I'm going to show is a part that this part actually scared me. Like when I saw it, not scared, but it got me. It got me good. That is how you do a fucking scare. Just like that. No loud ass, jump in your face, loud music, shit. Just make it subtle. Make it like that. That was good. That is how a good scare is done. Do shit like that. Speaking of that scene, after she turns around and goes back to the couch, she goes and looks for her phone that she had set down on the table just a little bit ago, just a minute ago, and it's not there. And she's like, what the hell? Where's my phone at? Where'd it go? She sees it way over there on the cabinet, and she's like, oh, silly me, there it is. She picks it up. She's like, how'd it get over here? What the fuck? Are you stupid? Do you not remember putting it here? And then I understand that I've put something down and forgot where I put it so many times. I can't bitch about that. But to put it way over there where you weren't even at and you don't think about it for a sec, like, what the fuck? I didn't put that shit over there. You that doesn't freak you out or anything? You don't take note of that? Are you stupid? And then, right as she grabs her phone, she's like, oh, silly me. She hears someone outside singing, and she's like, what is that? She goes and like starts to walk over. She's like, huh? No, you stupid bitch. If that was me, I would have immediately gone and grabbed the knife, grabbed the gun, get something. Because, dog, if I hear someone outside my house singing like that, I am grabbing something to defend myself and checking out quietly who that is. And if I don't know who that is, they are fucking around. They're about to find out. Another classic movie trope that pops up. Ryan gets back to the mechanic shop at his car. He tries to open the door. It's locked, of course. Luckily, it's a smart car, so he goes and gets his phone and dials whatever, and it unlocks. So he goes, grabs his inhaler, shuts the door, locks it again. Right as he turns around, boom, the creepy mechanic is there at this fucking late at night. And of course, he's creepy again for no fucking good reason. Like, unless he's just an actual weirdo, he has no reason to be this creepy. Like, he's got a tire iron, like, right up to Ryan's face, pretty much. He's like, I could have thought you were a robber. It's like, dog. Like, you make a good point of Ryan should have called and said, hey, I'm going to come over because I left my inhaler in the car. But you don't have to be fucking weird about it. This is my favorite scene from the movie, right here. I'm joking with you on that one. That's not in the movie, in case you didn't realize it. But I had to get you with something. Real quick though, another thing. Why the fuck is the shower so damn nice? Like, they're in just a log cabin. Like, I'm not saying the shower has to be like, bad or tacky or anything, but it's just a basic ass log cabin. Like, it doesn't have a whole lot going on. It's just very basic. And it has this like mansion ass shower with like the marble or granite or stone or whatever that is. Walls. It's big ass walk in. Like, what the fuck is that? Although, that does lead me to another scene in the movie. He's a pervert. He is a fucking pervert. He was watching her in the shower. I get that it's just creepy to build tension, but you gotta watch out for that guy. Next complaint that I have, Ryan gets back from getting food and his inhaler. He gets back to the log cabin, and Maya has just been scared. She is in one of the closets or something because the power was turned off. She went to find the breaker. She turned around and saw one of the girls with the mask and freaked out and ran up and ran into the closet and tried to hide. And then Ryan gets there and he's like, are you sure you saw someone? Are you sure there was someone in the house? And then he goes over and he's like, yeah, okay. And he's trying to calm her down and everything, of course, which makes sense. But he goes and looks over where the breaker is, and there's like a clown painting. And he's like, are you sure that's not what you just saw? It's like, listen, dog, I understand. Also, she had been smoking before, so we can smell the weed on her. And he's like, you're just paranoid, blah, 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 this and this. Like, I understand you want to just calm her down, you want to ease her, you want to lower the tension and everything. Of course, you don't want it to be real. You want to make sure that it's not real. So, you excuse it. You're like, you probably just saw the painting. Calm down. It's a classic movie trope where it's like, babe, you didn't see anything. There's no one here. Look, it's just this. But at the same time, dog, if I'm in that situation and someone tells me that they just saw someone in the house, I'm doing a full fucking search of the house. I'm going all the way around. I'm grabbing a weapon. I'm saying, okay, it probably wasn't anything, but just in case, we're going to go check it out. Because just in case there was someone in there, I don't want them to get the fucking drop on me. And if there was no one there, or if you can't find anyone, then it's okay. It was just something you saw. But until you're sure, I'm on my fucking toes. I'm watching out for someone. Here is a smart thing that they did in the movie, one that I will give them compliments for. The people have come in and started chasing them, kind of terrorizing them. And so Ryan and Maya going to run up into the bathroom and barricade themselves in. And they're like, how the hell are we going to get out of here? And Maya notices a duct or whatever it is in the bathroom. And she's like, yo, this house has a crawl space. We can undo this part and go in the crawl space, sneak under the house, and get out. And so they do that. And then Ryan picks up the grate and puts it back in place. That was a very smart move. That was a good thing that they did. And then something dumb happens right after. This isn't Ryan's fault, but after they get out of the crawl space, they go and see the shed. They're like, hey, let's go over here. So they go and get up, run over to the shed. Of course, Ryan fucking trips on a rock like a dumbass, like the stupid ass fucking movie trope that they already used in the beginning of the movie. It happens again. He trips, and of course, he drops his inhaler. Now, him dropping his inhaler isn't his fault because he didn't just have it in his hand and then, ooh, it was just in his pocket and it fell out. But at the same time, like, if your inhaler is just flopping out of your pockets, you must have kind of shitty pockets. Like, they gotta be really baggy and stuff and like just flying open. Another thing that I will give Ryan props for is in the shed, they find a shotgun. And then he goes, they go out, they get around the shed. And as he's walking out, he's got the shotgun up. He does not have his finger on the trigger. He's got it on the side, like you're supposed to. That is good firearm safety. So luckily, he knows what he's doing in that sense. Unfortunately, then, he hears someone at the door, and he's like, oh, they're over by the side. So he goes, turns the corner, immediately blasts. Which, that is fair because they have already seen 3 people. Like, who the fuck else would it be up there? So I understand him just, seeing someone shooting real quick. But at the same time, like, you still want to, they only have, like, they don't have any ranged weapons. Like, they only have an axe and knives and shit like that. So you can still look at your target, make sure it's one of them, and then shoot. Because you've got a good distance between each other. So if they start running at you or something, you have time to fucking blast them. I went to get some water because my throat is getting dry from talking so much. And also, I flipped the hat around because it's getting annoying on my head. But back to the movie. After Ryan blasts the mechanic that came to look at the fridge that was broken earlier, he goes, takes his keys, because he sees that he's got a car there, obviously. How else did he get there? So he goes, take the keys, they get in the car, they're about to drive off. And then the Scarecrow guy rams his truck really quick into the car they just got into. He does that a couple times. He goes and rams, backs up, rams, backs up, and then pins him up against a tree. Maya gets out of the car. Ryan is stuck in the car. His leg is pinned in the car. So he's pinned in the car. And then, Scarecrow comes out and is, going to cut him up with the axe or whatever. And then he grabs the shotgun and blasts at him. And then he goes and runs off into the woods so he doesn't get hit with a shotgun. And then Ryan is able to get out of the truck. It is shown that Scarecrow left his truck running. So even though the car they got in is now totaled and pinned up against a tree, there is still another truck that now works perfectly fine. And Ryan just leaves it there. He doesn't even take the keys or anything. At the very least, I would have opened the door, taken the keys, and then he goes off to look for Maya, who ran in the woods, which I understand wanting to go back for her, but at the same time, don't leave them with a usable truck. That is bad on Scarecrow guy's part, and Ryan's part. Because Scarecrow guy should have taken the keys in case Ryan just said, fuck Maya, and just gotten in the truck and drove off. Ryan should have taken the keys because they have already used their truck against you. Don't give them a chance to do it again. Like, don't let them still have the truck to use against you. Going back to the shed real quick, here is another scene that did scare me just a little bit. It spooked me.
I can see anything.
Hold on.
That is another good scare. Like, nothing jumps at you, nothing blares or anything. It's just a good tension builder. That is a good way to build tension. I've said it already about the previous time that got me jumped, that got me spooked. To do scares in horror movies, depending on the kind of movie you're making, you don't have to have these big ass, loud ass jump scares. Sometimes it's just about building tension for the audience. You have to be able to know. You have to know how to do that. That scene does it well. Other scenes in this movie do not. Other scenes in this movie are really bad, really cliche. Going back to another dumbass Ryan moment, he finds the mom stranger in the forest and he sneaks up on her. He points the shotgun to the back of her head and has her right there at gunpoint. And instead of just blasting her, he's like, "Where's my blah blah blah? Go do this. Put your hands up. Drop the knife. Oh, do you want me to shoot you? I'll shoot you right here, right now. Uh, they say killing a person. They say your first time killing a person ain't easy. Well, I got news for you. This is my second time tonight." Some shit like that. And then the gun wasn't even pumped. He has it against her skull, says something, and "I'll kill you, I'll do it for real, blah, blah, blah." Pumps the shotgun then, like they do in movies all the time. If you were going to put a gun to someone's head, if you're going to be ready to kill them, you don't say, "Hey, I've got a gun." You have the gun ready before you even tell them. Because if she jumped at you, like she turns around to look at the shotgun, like if she just said fuck it and just tried to grab the shotgun, you're not going to be able to shoot her because it's not loaded. Like, what the fuck are you doing? If you're going to sneak up behind someone and try and shoot them, have the gun already loaded. My phone's about to die, so I'm going to wrap this up quick. But if that was me, I wouldn't have even asked, "Where's Maya? Do this, blah, blah, blah." I would have just blasted her head, move off, clean off. And then that's one down, no more. That's only two more to worry about now. Last thing, because I got to make this quick. Like I said, my phone is dying. In the very end, Maya wakes up in the hospital. She's like this, and then she gets up from the bed, and then the camera goes over, and the guy in the mask is right there, like right on the bed with her. One, how does she not notice that? But two, that was also very good for building tension. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's, like I said in the beginning, my thoughts about the movie. It's okay. It's not a great movie. It's not a horrible movie. It had good parts. It had bad parts. Um, rating it again, probably 4, 4.5, 5. Probably a 4, honestly. It just had good moments every now and then, but most of it was really mediocre, honestly. So that's it. Yeah. Have a good one. Happy Halloween also.